financially abusive. So for a background really quickly, they were together for it was like 2 years. They began dating in 2022. They broke up back in October. And she said the reason why they broke up was his temper. She alleges that he had a really bad temper and he couldn't control it. She filed these documents Tuesday in LA, and she says that things begin to get physical. She alleges things got physical with him in January. So she said that's when the breakup happened. She says that one time DDG came over to pick up their son Halo. She tried to start a conversation with him about child visitation schedule, because in the document she's saying that she's been trying to get a set schedule.
Comment below what you guys think.
They both are entertainers. They're both busy, but he wants to allegedly pop up, demand Halo whenever it's convenient for him. And sometimes it doesn't work for her, and then it creates issues. So she said that they were having a conversation about the schedule, and then things kind of went left. She said that as this conversation was happening, she was assisting and buckling Halo into his car seat. And then that's when she claims that DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car, B word." She says that she then, got up. She began to get upset because the baby started to cry, and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him because the baby was in such an aggravated state. She didn't want him to leave with the baby. And then that's when they started wrestling, allegedly. And she says that during the wrestling, she alleges DDG pulled her hair, slammed her face on the steering wheel, and chipped her tooth. Now, here's a photo of the chipped tooth that we have here. And she also says that she was in pain, she was crying, and although
Guys, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? For me, I've seen so many situations in life where it's like, you see a guy, he's a cool dad, he's cool, everyone likes him, the child loves him, everyone loves him, and sometimes what happens in a relationship, things align, and now because maybe I'm not really fucking with you like that, which is I'm not really messing with you like that. Like maybe I've split ways, I want to do my thing, but like because now I have his child and I can use that anger, like again with an accusation, allegedly everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But for me, just on a storytelling perspective, I just don't see this. And I can just see it's a scary society we live in, bro. All it takes is one person to say, "Oh, he did this," and then boom, like it's scary.
And although they stopped fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house. But when she got there, she revealed to his family right away what had happened. And once they told her that they would take care of the baby, she left. She said she was hysterical. She had bruises all over her body and on her arms, specifically on her arms, or the ones that she took pictures of, and she included in the filing where she requested this restraining order, which she was then granted. And she also
which she wasn't granted.
She was granted. Okay. So she included the photos of her arm, the photos.
Charlamagne's not saying anything because I think Charlamagne's just like, bro. I just think he's just like he knows
of her chipped tooth. And she just talks about some of the things that she's been dealing with. She says that, he'll allege things that like she's not letting him see the kid, but then she added text messages in where she was talking to his mom and she was trying to figure out how he could see the baby before they went away on the trip. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a conversation around if she was dating Brent Faiyaz or not, because people thought they were alleging that she was away on this trip with Brent Faiyaz with baby Halo.
Never heard that in my life.
That was a thing. It was a thing online. And she says that because of that, DDG began to text her like articles and she actually has screenshots of text messages allegedly from DDG in this doc. Basically, he's like, "Yo, this is foul. Hey, you got Halo. Watch when I go on a trip. I'm gonna do my big one when I go on a trip." And she saying to him, like, "You're not tired of like harassing me, like leave me alone."
They weren't together.
They weren't together at this point. So she included all of this into the doc. She filed a police report. From there, the judge said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a restraining order." So,
what is financial abuse?
Financial abuse can be like where
restraining order, bro, and it's just one of those ones. I know if I do this, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. He's not gonna see the child.
Or he's refusing to pay for something, refusing to share in something, things of that nature. But yeah, so this is where they are now. DDG was just up here though. Remember he talked about where he stood with Halle. Let's take a listen.
At one point you said that you actually would get back with Halle. At one point you said that. Do you still feel that way?
When?
I don't know where the world might take me.
Yeah.
But right now I'm single, super single.
I saw you say that on one of your last screens you were trying to get to a point of peace with her as far as co-parenting.
Yeah, we cool.
Yeah.
Figuring it out.
how do you get to a point of peace if you're constantly doing that? Like constantly putting your life and your information, even about your relationship with her on that.
I mean, this is the most consistent I've been just because I'm single. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a relationship, you gotta sacrifice time. Like, no matter how much you do this or how much understanding your girl might have, it's always gonna be some type of like, all right, when we gonna watch a movie, nigga? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's with any girl. But the reason I've been so consistent and like streaming for such long hours is because I have a lot of time to myself, which is,
That's one thing about like being single is like you don't have to worry, but you just spend time to yourself. I get it.
positive.
And you can just walk all day, every day.
Do you put that in your music? Because I also saw you saying that you wish you could spend more time with your son.
Yeah.
So is that therapeutic to put it in your music, or do you even put it in your music?
About spending time with my son?
All of this stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible. I know that was hard for Halle to do because, DDG is a god on the internet, and those screamers, those chat folks are going to harass the hell out of her.
It's already started, and
Sure.
she's mentioned that in her docs too, that she gets harassed anytime his fans get in a frenzy.
Yeah.
But it's already started. People are basically like saying that she's just doing this just to be doing it, like she's always messing with him. He was actually live on stream when he found out he was live on stream with Aiden Ross, and
Crazy.
Aiden Ross kind of gave the insinuation that this is all for her just like stirring up the pot. Let's take a listen to Aiden.
Why are they saying GGTMZ? All right, looking at her story now. Don't even.
That can't even be real. But that can't even be real. That's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night? All that. Let me say something. It's not.
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
But I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it, bro. Come here. That's my real friend. We're not gonna do no fault.
Yo, this is like a movie. Hey guys, do you feel like this is like a movie?
Yeah, so that was Aiden Ross. But she was granted a domestic violence restraining order, and according to the restraining order, DDG has to stay 100 yards away.
And I've seen so many men go through this, bro. I've seen so many men. Well, like the accusation part is like I've seen men go through stuff where some could call the police and say some shit like that, or do something else, take the child, like just crazy stuff. And that's why it's so important, men, bro. Like the women that you have a child with, bro. Like I'm sure there was red flags. I'm sure there was red flags. Again, I don't want to feel like I'm judging. I don't want to feel like I'm judging other people's lives, or again, I just want to use this like a movie, like a storytelling. But like again, for me, my personal opinion, I'm just like, I'm not buying that, bro. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. And maybe I'm just not buying it.
And the judge gave her permission to take nearly the 18-month-old son, Halo, to Italy, where she'll be filming a movie for 2 months coming up.
And Halle got a lot of receipts, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you. She got text messages in this doc that she filed. She has photos. A judge is not going to grant a restraining order just off of like oh my God, I think this is happening to me. You have to show what you're talking about, at least enough for a judge to say, okay, I want to keep you safe until we figure out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. Text messages is easy. If you have argument with someone, you can produce text messages. I'm sure they have arguments. DDG probably even, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, yes, text messages, that's easy. Fans to say harassing, easy. The marks, like, again, he could, if he's done it, may he be punished. If he's done it, may he be punished. Honestly, swear, we do not condone any of that stuff. Like, what's done in the darkness will come out in the light. But the marks, the truth, I'm like, it just, like, the physical abuse doesn't really look like substantial enough. The ones on the arm, okay, like, I don't know. What people are saying is maybe she could be hitting him, and then how you hold someone back, da da da. I don't know.
Like, or I don't want anything to happen. So let's separate y'all two, keep y'all away from each other, and let's look more into this. Let's investigate, figure out what's going on.
Of course, Charlemagne is.
What you should do in that situation, right? She went to the police.
Yeah.
Like she went to the courts. She was granted a restraining order. And I'm sure there's more to come in regards to the law. And that's why I'm saying you can play on the internet in the court of public opinion. But in the real world, The court of law is what matters.
Gotta go to court.
Yeah, well,
Get it all documented.
speaking of court, real quick, I did want to talk about yesterday, Cassie in court, running us through that.
Diddy.
Yeah, back to Diddy. Running us through the video of her being dragged in that hotel room back in 2016. So people have been trying to figure out kind of like what the narrative is. Was she trying to get away from a freak off, or was this two people so jealous, so upset? Cassie says that was her trying to leave a freak off 100%. She says that she had shot Diddy a text message, which they brought up in court. In that text, she's texting him and saying, I want to F-O so bad. That's how they talked about freak offs. The text is to Pop-Up. She calls him Pop-Up because she alleges that he wanted her to call him what she used to call her grandfather.
I was about to say, Pop-Up is for granddad.
Yes, I used to call my Pop-Up, my grandfather Pop-Up. Now
Well, that's when you know the girl way too young for you. It's one thing when the girl say daddy.
Yeah.
Pop-Up?
She said on the stand too, she was like, yeah, weird, I know, but whatever. But anyway, so there's text between Baby Girl and Pop-Up, her and Puff, and she's talking about
come on, man. That's
BBG. He called her Baby Girl, he called her Cece, Cassie Combs. Those were the nicknames that he had for her.
Think about the contrast, granddaddy and baby girl.
BBG and
It's
Pop-Up.
Pop-Up. and
Pop-Up,
Baby
but come
Girl.
on, come on, y'all. Come on, guys. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
keep
Well,
going, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, so in the text messages, she's saying that she wants to freak off, and people, and I think the prosecutors brought this up early because they want to get ahead of it, because she's saying she's initiating it, right? But she's also alleging at the same time she was trying to get away from it and couldn't. So she said that the reason why she shot this text and the reason why they were even in that hotel in LA the day that she got dragged back in 2016 was because she had this major movie premiere coming up on Monday. That video that we saw, she alleges happened over the weekend. She believes it was Friday. She said she initiated that freak off because she wanted to make him happy. When he was pleased, when his moods were great, she would be okay. She didn't want anything to ruin her premiere. She didn't want to be told that she couldn't go or that, to have bruises or anything allegedly. So she said she did the freak off. They got there, they were drinking, they were partying with one of the escorts, a male escort, and somehow she ends up getting hit in her face by him. He allegedly punches her in her face. She's bruised in the face now. And she said at that point, she's like, I got to get out of here because if it gets worse, she's thinking about the premiere and she's scared. So we see her in the video trying to get away. And that's when she says that, she alleges he dragged her back into the room, took her stuff back into the room. But she was trying to explain why she was even there in the first place. And again, just, quickly put in context to that video, she said this is her trying to get away, can't get away, but doing this because if it makes him happy, she can be in some bit of peace.
What was the reaction in the courtroom when all this was happening? Even the semen on the nipples. Like, what was the reaction with Puff, the family, even
This
Cassie's
is crazy,
husband
guys. This is just crazy.
was there?
I
what was the
think
reaction?
so. I was sitting behind Cassie's brother and Cassie's husband. Her brother was a bit uneasy when they were playing the video. They didn't really react too much to the whole semen on nipple and a lot of stuff with the men. And I don't know if it's because everybody knows that we're all watching them. Neither did Puff's family. But there was one point where they talked about all the drugs that they would be on during these freak offs because she said she wouldn't remember a lot of them because of them. And they asked her, well, how were you reading up on drugs? How did you know who to call? And she said it was because of Diddy. And then they asked her, well, whose drug contact was it? Like, whose drug dealer was it? And she said she alleges it was Puff's. And I watched him, and Puff was looking at her, and he was like, he made this face like, come on, man. And I was like, oh, wow. And that was the first time that I saw him visibly like, because other than that, it was blank stare at her the whole time.
Didn't they arrest one of Diddy's drug mules? Remember that little
They
white
did.
dude? He's not on trial?
I don't know if he's going to be included in the trial or not. So far, the witness list, all we've heard from was one male escort,
Guys, what do you think? Comment below what you think. Comment below what you think.
Cassie, the LAPD security guy that was like security at the
How was she
hotel.
doing it? Because she's pregnant. So how was she doing? Does she need multiple breaks? Is she
She took
pain,
two.
or
Yes,
is-
she
like,
took
does
two
decline
breaks.
mentally?
She took 2 breaks. She asked for one of the breaks. While she's on the stand, she's doing a lot of like this, like
Cut your
holding
stomach,
herself, and
yeah,
she cried a
She
little
probably
bit.
contracting.
Yeah.
That would be
Like
crazy.
8 months. Yeah.
She cried a little bit in the beginning, like the opening of her testimony, but she held it together very, very well.
Listen, I told y'all yesterday that video is going to be the most damning piece of evidence in this case because it's almost impossible to see that video and give Diddy the benefit of the doubt for anything. And I know folks, say, oh, he's not on trial for domestic violence, but the beating part is part of the coercion and manipulation that defines trafficking in a court of law. When you get
Wait, what?
people to engage in sexual acts through violence or drugs or emotional manipulation, that all constitutes trafficking in a court of law. I guarantee you what you're going to see over the next few days is them defining what sexual trafficking is. They're going to be talking about the Mann Act. They're going to be talking about the coercion and the manipulation, the combo of drugs and violence and the emotional manipulation.
My thing is like I understand, like, if you know the violence, that's unacceptable, right? That's domestic abuse. That is horrible. But the part where they keep saying that she was in love with him and she did things to please him, and she basically gave her consent. She wanted to do it so he wouldn't go do it with anyone else. I was in love with him. I was just so in love with him. Da, da, da. So you're gonna say some of that's manipulation because she was so I was so in love with him and he's so rich that it was just he manipulated me. Is that what it is that, you know? And then that, oh, I don't want him to go do it with anyone else, so I'll do it with him. I'll do it to please him. I'll do it so he's happy. Is that coercion or manipulation or someone forcing you? You have every right to leave. I know sex trafficking, like he says, is violence, abuse to do it, to stay, to, you know, but it's
that he allegedly used to get people to do sexual things. I guarantee they're going to start talking about the transportation of prostitutes. That's all of
They're
that goes
setting
into
it up.
sexual.
but that's paid for. The transportation. If people pay their rent, they do things through sex. So the transportation, that's part of the delivery. They're paying for this. It's a service, isn't it? Isn't it a service? I'm confused with the escort part.
Trafficking things.
I agree with what you're saying because they set it up real good just to bring that landing
What's the
in.
difference between a prostitute and an escort?
So the way that they were having a conversation yesterday was like escorts are people that like not even an escort, but they were calling them escorts, but a lot of the men that they were enlisting from like Backpage, Craigslist, and these like service escort services. Backpage is old, right? Where people that were supposed to be there, they come and you like enjoy their time. So like
They
y'all
was
going
buying
little
cock off Craigslist.
bro,
Shut up,
and
man.
she was having to use her real phone number to respond to the ads.
There was booty on
She didn't have to post she didn't have to post them, but she had to use her real phone number to respond to the ads. She said,
Wait, when they talk about escorts, I'm thinking he's talking about shorty. Yeah, wait, was she not talking about when they were saying escorts? I was thinking like women, like you know, women escorts. That's what I was thinking that they were ordering or something. Oh, I guess male ones.
but to answer your question, they're still really defining it. But from what I'm getting from it, it seems like an escort isn't supposed to be having sex with you.
Oh,
They're supposed to just be there and like you enjoy their time. You might
Gotcha.
date with them. They might come and do like, you know, bring a
They
stripper.
might come, and then you take that cum and rub it on your nipples.
Don't give me the
This
line
is why
because I don't
was
get into
mad
all
right
that.
now.
What?
Yeah.
Got all these semen jokes.
And when they do these, nobody laughs in the courtroom, right? Nobody laughs in the courtroom when they say like you put the semen on the nipples. Like there's no outburst or anything like that. And
No.
I'm asking because if you don't know, Lauren is at the court every day.
Yeah, she's at the court.
The reason why I think yesterday people didn't catch a lot of stuff is because people were bored. It took the prosecution a long time to get to
Are
a
you
lot of
bored
this
listening
stuff.
to this?
That's what
I was duly intrigued and my notes were noting.
This is
but
years and years of comedy material.
yeah, well
I'm
I'm
a stiff nipple with a cum topper. You ever been on a crazy?
y'all-
Yeah, drink. That should
Right. But he got a slippery.
and
the girl.
For the daughters.
Yeah, and it was Diddy was straight faced at Cassie during the video, during the whole testimony. The girls didn't leave yesterday either.
And they
my
gonna
God.
start glazing the rim.
Imagine all of it, and the kids got to be in there watching it. The girls didn't leave yesterday either.
Oh, during the nipple?
They didn't leave during anything. They stayed during the whole testimony.
Oh, the daughters.
Yeah, and it was Diddy was straight faced at Cassie during the video. I do feel like Alex Fine had a couple stares for Puff.
This is why we need the Boondocks. This is why you need the Chappelle Show. Okay, this is great material, guys.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Well, I'll be back with more updates because today Cassie's going back on the stand, and then she's going to get cross-examined at some point. I think we got about like 2 more days with her on the stand. So
Well, head your ass to court and good luck.
thank you.
And we'll talk to you later on today. Yeah, once Lauren goes to court, we don't see Lauren again until 7 p.m.
Because they take my phones.
I know.
I be feeling like I be coming out like, woo, fresh out, first day out. Like it'd be tough.
All right, the mix is up next.
All right, guys, thanks for watching.